free college football picks. This is action here for Friday, November 24th. Tony T, our college football pick show here for Friday action. Features all 13 games. Before we get into just a couple things, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have free college football picks updated all season long. Free picks every day from all the major sports, making it a great time to subscribe. And also, if you would support our channel, give us that like, that thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Then visit Tony'sPicks.com. We are a multi-capper site showcasing top performers in our industry. Click the links to the hot cappers, get signed up to our long-term passes. A lot of hot cappers this year, like looking at Joseph Schultz for the year, doing fantastic works. Check him out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Also, we've got Chauncey having a great year. Hollywood Sam. Chauncey last 3 days. Daniel Walzachuk as well. Nick Lagaredos has been on fire. Collins coming off a good day. Click the links. Get signed up for long-term passes. Latest print picks will be at the center page. Click the tabs for our best bets and more. Making it a great time to subscribe. And our pick ticker also located on our homepage. You can save 20% off all premium pick packages when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You can access our page by clicking the link in the description. Click the All Cappers tab. Get signed up. Always love hearing from you guys, so you can post your picks in the comments. We are looking for cappers. Apply on that homepage. All right, let's go ahead and let's get this one started. Iowa and Nebraska college football pick. This one here on Friday. Iowa improved to 9-2 after their 15-13 home victory to Illinois. Hawkeyes rushed for 116 yards on 35 carries. They held the Fighting Illini to 3 yards per rush with 215 passing yards on 47 attempts. Deacon Hill completed 19 of 29 passes for 167 yards with a touchdown. He averaged 5.8 yards per pass attempt. Nebraska fell to 5-6, a 24-17 road to overtime defeat to Wisconsin. Cornhuskers rushed for 195 yards on 40 carries. They allowed 156 yards rushing to the Badgers with 160 passing yards on 28 attempts. Heinrich Harburg missed the game with an ankle injury and will be questionable here. But Purdy hit 15 of 23 passes for 169 yards with a touchdown and interception. He averaged 7.3 yards per pass attempt and rushed for 105 yards and a touchdown. Three straight losses for Nebraska. Both offenses are poor here. Iowa allows 4 yards per play, which is best in the nation. Iowa, in their 2 games away from home, allowed 7 points at Northwestern, 6 at Wisconsin. It just comes down to it. Iowa just gets more W's than Nebraska does. Play here, Iowa plus 2.5. Memphis and Temple college football pick. This one here on Friday. Memphis drops to 8-3 after their 38-34 home defeat to SMU. Tigers rushed for 62 yards on 22 carries. They allowed 158 yards rushing to the Mustangs with 286 passing yards on 23 attempts. Seth Hennigan, 35 of 51 passing for 402 yards with 2 touchdowns. He averaged 7.9 yards per pass attempt. Temple fell to 3-8. A 34-24 road defeat to UAB. Owls rushed for 55 yards on 21 carries. They allowed 262 yards rushing to the Blazers with 246 passing yards on 28 attempts. Temple had a -2 turnover margin. E.J. Warner, 25 of 46 passing for 323 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He averaged 7 yards per pass attempt. Owls have defended poorly in AAC play by allowing 39 points and 478 yards per game. Memphis is getting an accurate quarterback play and is efficient in the passing game. Owls allow 64% completion rate and big plays in the passing game. They rush for only 3.3 yards a carry and are 113th in the nation in quarterback accuracy and inefficient in the passing game. Play here will be Memphis -13. Toledo and Central Michigan in college football pick. This one here on Friday. Toledo improved to 10-1 with a 32-31 road win at Bowling Green. Rockets rushed for 136 yards on 27 carries. They limited the Falcons to 2.5 yards per rush with 309 yards passing on 46 attempts. Daquan Finn, 20 of 30, passing for 279 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception. He averaged 9.3 yards per pass attempt and rushed for a touchdown. Central Michigan drops to 5-6, a 34-20 road defeat at Ohio. Chippewas rushed for 162 yards on 33 carries. They surrendered 148 yards rushing to the Bobcats with 229 yards passing on 24 attempts. CMU had a -2 turnover margin. Chase Barrow, 10 of 21 passing for 157 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception. He averaged 7.5 yards per pass attempt. Past 3 games, the Rockets are putting up 37 points. Central Michigan at home putting up 31 points a game, and it's just 1 win away from bowl eligibility. The Rockets are rushing for 5.3 yards a carry, with Central Michigan giving up 4.5 yards per rush. Toledo, accurate quarterback play, and they make big plays in the passing game. Central Michigan is very poor against the pass. They give up big plays to opponents. Play here will be Toledo and Central Michigan over 54.5. Miami and Boston College football pick. This one here on Friday. Miami drops at 6-5 with a 38-31 home defeat to Louisville. Hurricanes rushed for 159 yards on 26 carries. They allowed 162 yards rushing to the Cardinals with 308 passing yards on 37 attempts. Tyler Van Dyke, 24 of 39 passing for 327 yards with a touchdown. He averaged 8.4 yards per pass attempt. Boston College fell to 6-5, a 24-16 road defeat to Pittsburgh. Eagles rushed for 154 yards on 44 carries. They allowed 197 yards rushing to the Panthers with 207 passing yards on 19 attempts. BC had a -2 turnover margin. Thomas Castellanos, 13 of 25 passing for 171 yards with a touchdown and 2 interceptions. He averaged 6.8 yards per pass attempt. Boston College has been struggling offensively, averaging 18 points a game over their past 3. Miami in this period putting up 19 points a game. Miami is holding teams to just 3 yards per rush and only 57% completion rate. BC struggles with quarterback accuracy. Play here Miami and Boston College under 48.5. TCU and Oklahoma college football pick Friday. TCU improved to 5-6 with their 42-17 home victory to Baylor. Horned Frogs rushed for 100 yards on 30 carries. They surrendered 148 yards rushing to the Bears with 199 yards passing on 31 attempts. Chad Morris saw limited action returning from a knee injury. Josh Hoover, 24-29 passing for 412 yards with 2 touchdowns. He averaged 14 yards per pass attempt and rushed for a touchdown. Oklahoma 5-6 with their 31-24 road win at BYU. Sooners rushed for 144 yards on 34 carries. They allowed 217 yards rushing to the Cougars with 173 passing yards on 26 attempts. Oklahoma had a +3 turnover margin. Dylan Gabriel went 13 of 21 here for 191 yards, 2 touchdowns. He averaged 9.1 yards per pass attempt. Gabriel is questionable with an upper body injury. Jackson Arnold in relief, 5 of 9 passing, 33 yards, just 3.7 yards per pass attempt. He rushed for 24 yards on 8 carries. Oklahoma offensive injuries are a concern. Dylan Gabriel is questionable. The running back and starting receiver also banged up. The Horned Frogs are allowing 24 points a game against the Big 12. Sooners in the past 3 games allowing just 23 points a game. The Sooners are allowing 56% completion rate and just 3.9 yards per rush. Play here TCU and Oklahoma under 63. Ohio versus Akron. College football pick Friday. Ohio improved to 8-3, a 34-20 home victory to Central Michigan. Bobcats rushed for 148 yards on 41 carries. They allowed 162 yards rushing to the Chippewas with 157 passing yards on 21 attempts. Ohio had a +2 turnover margin. Curtis Rourke, he goes 15 of 23 passing for 222 yards, 9.7 yards per pass attempt. He rushed for a touchdown. Akron drops to 2-9, a 30-27 road defeat at Eastern Michigan. Zips rushed for 75 yards on 41 attempts. They allowed 3 yards per rush to the Eagles with 214 passing yards on 32 attempts. Jeff Undercuffler hit 19 of 26 passing for 223 yards with 8.6 yards per pass attempt. Akron, a really poor offensive team, averaging just 15 points and 271 yards a game against the MAC. Ohio gets Akron to play at quarterback and is putting up 26 points a game against the conference. The Zips will struggle to score here. The play here, Ohio, -14. UTSA and Tulane college football pick. This one Friday. UTSA improved to 8-3 with their 49-21 home victory against South Florida. Roadrunners rushed here for 224 yards on 42 carries. They allowed 140 rushing yards to the Bulls with 287 passing yards on 39 attempts. UTSA had a +2 turnover margin. Frank Harris, 31 of 46 passing for 411 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged 8.9 yards per pass attempt and rushed for 112 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tulane 10-1 after their 24-8 road win at FAU. Green Wave rushed for 84 yards on 32 carries and limited the Owls to 1.1 yards per rush with 202 yards passing on 31 attempts. Michael Pratt, 21 of 28 passing for 252 yards and 3 touchdowns. He averaged 9 yards per pass attempt. Past 3 games, the Green Wave allowing 13 points a game. They are 25th in the nation in total defense by allowing 323 yards a game with 2.8 yards per rush. UTSA is also good in good defensive form. The Roadrunners hold opponents at 3.6 yards per rush, 58% completions, and limit big plays in the passing game. They play here UTSA and Tulane under 52. Utah State and New Mexico college football pick. This one here is on Saturday. All right, Utah State fell to 5-6 with a 45-10 home defeat to Boise State. Aggies rushed for 164 yards on 42 attempts. They surrendered 352 yards rushing to the Broncos with 93 passing yards on 18 attempts. Utah State had a -4 turnover margin. Cooper Legas, 8 of 12 passing for 128 yards with a touchdown. Legas is questionable with a shoulder injury. McKay Hillstead has been ruled out with an ankle injury. Third string Levi Williams has seen significant action in 2020 and 2021 at Wyoming. He was sparsely used at Utah State the past 2 seasons. New Mexico, well, they're 4-7, a 25-17 road win at Fresno State. Lobos rushed for 345 yards on 51 carries. They limited the Bulldogs to 2 yards per rush with 183 yards passing on 29 attempts. Dylan Hopkins suffered an arm injury and was wearing a sling and is listed here as out. Devin Dampier, 2 of 3 passing in relief, 59 yards and a touchdown. He rushed for 45 yards. The true freshman on the season, completing 67% of his passes with 5 touchdowns and 8.6 yards per pass attempt. He is averaging 5.8 yards per rush. Utah State has won and covered 6 straight against New Mexico. Aggies 1 win away from bowl eligibility. Utah State, 24th ranked offense. Lobos defense allows 5 yards per rush and big plays in the passing game. Play here Utah State here at -5.5. Air Force and Boise State college football pick Friday. Gotta remember it's Friday. Air Force fell to 8-3 with their 31-27 home defeat to UNLV. Falcons rushed for 344 yards on 62 carries. They allowed 114 yards rushing to the Rebels with 351 passing yards on 30 attempts. Jetson Jones 1 of 6 passing for 35 yards and 5.8 yards per pass attempt. He rushed for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. Boise State is 6-5 with their 45-10 road win at Utah State. Broncos rushed for 352 yards on 48 attempts. They held the Aggies to 164 yards rushing with 209 passing yards on 30 attempts. Boise State had a +4 turnover margin. Talon Green, 8 of 17 passing for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged 5.5 yards here per pass attempt. Boise State fired their head coach. Broncos have struggled with quarterback accuracy. Air Force is 4th in total defense, allowing 265 yards per game with 2.9 yards per rush. Play here Air Force +7. Missouri and Arkansas college football pick. Here we go for Saturday. Missouri 9-2 after their 33-31 home victory to Florida. Tigers rushed for 177 yards on 32 carries. They allowed 261 yards rushing to the Gators with 239 passing yards on 26 attempts. Missouri had a -2 turnover margin. Brady Cook completed 20 of 34 passing for 331 yards and a touchdown. He averaged 9.7 yards per pass attempt and had a rushing touchdown. Arkansas improved to 4-7, a 44-20 home victory at FIU. Razorbacks rushed for 323 yards on 54 carries. They held the Golden Panthers to 3.1 yards per rush with 265 passing yards on 36 attempts. Arkansas had a +2 turnover margin. KJ Jefferson hit 15 of 28 passes for 187 yards and 3 touchdowns. He averaged 6.7 yards per pass attempt and rushed for 90 yards. Arkansas has played defense at home, allowing 24 points and 308 yards a game. Past 3 games, Missouri is allowing 412 yards and 5.9 yards per run. Razorbacks in this period are running for 5 yards to carry. Player will be Arkansas here at +8.5. Texas Tech and Texas college football pick. This one here on Friday. Texas Tech is 6-5 with their 24-23 home victory to UCF. Red Raiders rushed for 192 yards on 27 carries. They allowed 238 yards rushing to the Knights with 249 passing yards on 32 attempts. Bevan Morton, 21 of 35 passing for 256 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception. He averaged 7.3 yards per pass attempt. Texas improved to 10-1, a 26-16 road win at Iowa State. Longhorns rushed for 126 yards on 32 carries. They held the Cyclones at 9 yards rushing with 323 yards passing on 32 attempts. Quinn Ewers, 23 of 33 passing for 281 yards with 2 touchdowns. He averaged 8.5 yards per pass attempt. Texas Tech on the road averaging 23 points and is 4-1 to the under. Texas 38th in total defense. They're allowing just 2.9 yards per rush and limit big plays in the passing game. Texas Tech inefficient with their passing game. They do defend the pass well. Play here Texas Tech and Texas under 53. Penn State and Michigan State college football pick. This one here is on Friday. Game played at Ford Field in Detroit. Penn State in this one, entering this game, sits at 9-2 with a 27-6 home victory to Rutgers. Nittany Lions rushed for 235 yards on 39 carries. They limited the Scarlet Knights at 2.5 yards per rush with 130 passing yards on 16 attempts. Penn State had a +1 turnover margin. Michigan State 4-7 with their 24-21 road win at Indiana. Spartans rushed for 74 yards on 32 carries. They allowed 210 yards rushing to the Hoosiers with 192 passing yards on 34 attempts. Kane Hauser, 26 of 41 passing for 245 yards with 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He averaged 6 yards per pass attempt. Penn State is averaging 33 points away from home. The game is played on a fast track in a dome. Michigan State is struggling in the passing game defensively by allowing 61% completions and big plays. The Lions running for 4.4 yards a carry. Michigan State is averaging 16 points in their past 3 games, which should be enough here to get this one over. Play here Penn State and Michigan State over 42.5. Oregon State and Oregon college football pick. This one here is on Saturday. Oregon State fell to 8-3 with their 22-20 home defeat to Washington. Beavers rushed for 148 yards on 40 carries. They allowed 110 yards rushing to the Huskies with 162 passing yards on 28 attempts. Oregon State had a -2 turnover margin. DJ Uglogale completed 15 of 31 passes for 164 yards with 2 interceptions. He averaged 5.3 yards per pass attempt and rushed for 53 yards. Oregon improved to 10-1, a 49-13 road victory here at Arizona State. Ducks rushed for 140 yards on 33 carries. They allowed 11 yards rushing to the Sun Devils with 205 passing yards on 47 attempts. Bo Nix, 24-29 passing for 4 yards with 6 touchdowns. He averaged in the game nearly 14 yards per pass attempt. Oregon 16th in total defense by allowing 3.4 yards per rush and limits big plays in the passing game. Oregon State not accurate at quarterback position, about less than 59% completion rate. The Beavers defend over the past 3 games, allowing 279 yards. The Ducks held Pac-12 teams to 17 points and 319 yards a game. Play here will be Oregon State and Oregon under 62.5. All right, that was our college football pick show here for Friday. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have free college football picks updated all season long. Free picks every day from all the major sports, making it a great time to subscribe. And also, if you would, support our channel. Give us that like, that thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to visit our site, TonySpicks.com, for our best plays. Our premium picks are there. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save that 20% off. Of course, you'll find the link to TonySpicks.com in our description. And don't forget, TonySpicks.com is brought to you by the Rhythm app. Create your custom sports betting models right now with the Rhythm app and save a lot of time in your handicapping because you still use your logic and you enter your factors, your main factors into the model, whereas the app just takes care of all the grunt work. So check it out. Claim your 14-day free trial. Download it right now at the Apple, Google, and Android store. All right, that's all for now. Lots of free picks throughout our channel here on Friday. I'm Tony T. We'll talk to you guys later.